The original Redwell Street has been named Queen Street since the early 19th century, with the old well located in this corner near St Michael at Plea Church. The well simply had a red covering, hence its name. The present day Redwell Street is highlighted, you've guessed it, in red, with Princes Street, which we'll see later in the video, in green. This is number 2 Redwell Street, now an estate agent. In 1900 it had been Conservative Central Officers, and in 1990 it was a financial services company. Next door is Clement Court, the site of the Norwich Post, the earliest provincial newspaper in the UK, first published in 1701. Look out from Clement Court in 2023 and it looks like this, whereas the view from the same spot in August 1939 would have appeared like this. Cross the road from Clement Court and look back and the 2023 view is of Francis House, presumably named after Francis Burgess, who published the first Norwich Post. It was built for the Eastern Daily Press in the late 1950s, the site having previously been occupied by the City Arms pub, which relocated here when the original City Arms at the bottom of St Andrew's Hill was demolished to enable access for trams. On the east side of Redwell Street, behind the church, is Church Alley, the far corner of which looked like this in 1964. Standing outside Francis House, this is the view of number 8 Redwell Street in 1986, antiques and textiles being sold, now the home of Tipsy Jar Cocktail Bar. At this point I'm going to run down St Andrew Street and meet you at the bottom of Princes Street for the second part of this video. Number 1 Princes Street is Garset House, a building half its original size because of access for trams. This is the 1935 view. It dates from the 1500s and is also known as Armada House because it's believed to have been built using timbers washed ashore in Norfolk after the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. Numbers 3 and 5 Princes Street look unchanged from this picture of 1936. On this site was St Christopher's Church, an unusual dedication with only 9 pre-Reformation examples in England. It was destroyed by fire in the middle years of the 13th century and not replaced, probably because of the proximity of other churches. Opposite, these are numbers 4 to 6 Princes Street. Number 2 on the left of this photo is no longer there, as can be seen in this 2023 equivalent. Standing where Redwell Street meets Princes Street, this is St Peter Hungate Church in 1938, the scene looking almost identical 85 years on. Built in 1869 as Princes Street Congregational Church, this is the 1987 view of the United Reformed Church, together with the 2023 view seen from Elm Hill. This is looking at cottages beside St Peter Hungate Churchyard in 1936, an almost identical view in 2023. The buildings are part of Mandel's Court, seen here from the other side. This is the equivalent view in 1939, Mandel's Court running through towards Elm Hill. This is the entrance to Mandel's Court in 1936, the wider photo illustrating 8 to 12 Princes Street with adverts including Players, Cadbury's and Wall's ice cream, the shop having disappeared in the current view. Looking from the same position but in the opposite direction, this is an overall street view of numbers 14 to 26 in 1935, which we will now look at in a bit more detail. This is number 14, a 17th century Grade 2 listed building, originally 2 houses and now a solicitor's office. Now to the mystery of Princes Inn, which gives the street its name. This photo is of numbers 16 to 18 Princes Street, which George Plunkett describes as the Princes Inn site. The entrance on the right is Plummer's Arms Alley. The Plummer's Arms pub, possibly on both sides of this entrance from about 1816 to 1880. A very detailed internet article by Geoffrey Kelly suggests Princes Inn had been on the site of number 20 from 1391. It was destroyed by fire in 1507 or 8. A carved timber survived the fire and would be relocated to the Ship Inn in King Street. The Princes Inn continued until 1816 from which point it traded as the Plumber's Arms. This is Plumber's Arms Alley, the route of which, though not the name, was first recorded in 1323. This photo dates from 1939, and looking back out onto Princes Street, this historic photo dates from 1935. These are numbers 22 to 24 Princes Street in 1934, and then in a rare colour photo from 1936, and finally in the present day 2023. Number 26 next to St George Tombland is seen here in 1986 and here in the current view. And this is St George Tombland. More about that in the Lost Norwich video about Tombland. Now let's look at the final section on the south side of Princes Street. Much of the south side of the street has been redeveloped. This is student accommodation, and this general street view would have looked like this in 1936 when number 17 Princes Street was known as Sussex House. As we approach Tombland, number 19 Princes Street, dating from the 18th century, is instantly recognisable in this 1936 equivalent. And finally, can you find the spot on Princes Street where St George's gains a cathedral spire? And even more finally, can you find the mysterious hidden keyboard of Princes Street?